What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, the goatee mustache-wearing Thrash Maniac 99, reviews upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016. And tonight I'm reviewing an album from last week, and that it came out, and it's the brand new release from Swedish metal band Katatonia, The Fall of Hearts. For those of you who do not know, in case you've been living under a rock with this band, Katatonia is a band from Stockholm, Sweden that formed in the early 90s, starting out as more of a death doom band, mixing doom metal and death metal. They got pretty popular once Brave Murder Day came out in 1996, where it was a seminal death doom album with Michael Åkerfeldt from Opeth doing the vocals on that album. And then over the years they've evolved out of that into periods where they would be gothic metal, and then eventually would morph into like a three-way combo of doom metal, traditional doom metal, alternative metal, and prog metal. This album, however, they get rid of pretty much all the doom metal and they kind of bring in prog rock into their prog metal, alt metal sound. And let's take a look at how this album is. So the first track on the album, and probably my favorite song of the album, is called TAKEOVER. To me, because of the fact that Katatonia morphed into that more alternative metal realm, to me this sounds like a progressive version of Breaking Benjamin to some extent, because the guitar tone is very similar to a Breaking Benjamin song from, say, the Phobia album in 2006. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's actually a cool thing for me personally, because I love Breaking Benjamin. But this song basically takes that kind of sound, but they do their own twist on it with the prog rock and prog metal influences. And Jonah's voice, the singer of the band, is just thriving throughout this whole album. It's just, he's got a soft voice that you can understand and get driven by emotionally. And this song was just a dark, brooding track, and it's the second longest song of the album at a little over 7 minutes in length, so pretty bold statement for your first song on the record. The next song I want to talk about is Last Song Before the Fade. One of the darkest songs of the album as far as lyrical content is concerned, because it's basically all about, you know, singing your last song before you die, and so on and so forth. So it has that gothic imagery on top of it, where they kind of keep some of that element from the late 90s material that Katatonia was doing, late 90s, early 2000s. And this song kind of also definitely shows off their prog rock influences from bands such as Genesis, King Crimson, bringing in that into the mix. And it just really made for one of the most memorable songs in recent memory for Katatonia. But let's get to the closing track, which is called Passer. About 6.5 minute tune, and one of the heaviest songs of the album. Goes back to kind of that theme I was talking about with the track TAKEOVER, where it kind of brings in that kind of Breaking Benjamin-esque guitar sound, and bringing it on top of the progressive structures, and with Jonas's voice and Anders Nyström, I believe that's how you say it, or Anders Nyström, who is the lead guitarist and also in Bloodbath. Same with Jonas as well. But the guitar was just very crushing on this song, even though this is often considered, from what I've seen so far, what people have said, it's a lighter album compared to albums of the past. So, but Passer definitely keeps on that theme that I've been saying throughout the whole video of combining that alternative metal guitar sound with a prog rock and prog metal song structure influence, and trying to make something unique and different for Scandinavian metal. And they did it very, very well. So virtually I've not listened to much Katatonia up until this point, though I've heard a lot about him and how the fact that Jonas Rinsky, the singer, is best friends with Michael Ockerfeldt of Opeth. So, now I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit here. Oh well. So, to continue on, now I remember, so, in conclusion for this album, top to bottom, there is not a song that's poor. In fact, every song kind of molds together and it flows beautifully. The album just flows beautifully like you're looking at a tropical waterfall, and it's just pristine. It's wonderful to look at. In this case, this is wonderful to listen to. The guitar work was really immense by Anders Nystrom. He did a great job on the guitars, but I think the star of the album is Jonas on the vocals. He has a great soft voice. While he's got a great growl to him from older albums, he really shows off his true vocal talents on this album. And sometimes you kind of feel a little bit at times depressed when you listen to an album like this. After all, it's called The Fall of Hearts. So overall, I would probably give this album a 91 out of 100. This is a very, very solid work by Katatonia. So far, one of the best albums of the year. We will definitely be talking about this album again in the Top 50 Album of the Year list in December. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Peace out, and have a good Friday night.